Welcome to another video. Carson Spivey here with Assisted Living Facility Launch, and we are going to be talking about how to start $1 million DDA agency in the state of Maryland, whether that's group homes, supported living, community-based day programs, so on and so forth. If you have ever wanted to step in the field of care in the state of Maryland, make a lot of money doing it, providing a lot of good in your community, this is the perfect video. We're going to be breaking down what are the rates, what are the different programs you can provide, what are the profit and losses for each of these program types that you want to do, and then how do you actually pass licensing in the state of Maryland. So let us waste no time and get straight into it. Okay, so the $1 million model. So financial freedom meets purpose-driven entrepreneurship. Maryland's DDA system offers a proven path to multiple six, and seven-figure income. Okay, a single group home, for example, can earn well over $55,000 a month in stable revenue at day programs and community supported living services to build your care empire. So who runs this system, right? So Maryland Department of Health, nested underneath is the Department of Developmental Disabilities Administration. It's going to be an agency that we are getting licensed with. Okay. In addition, the services that we're receiving funding through are federal Medicaid services. So we're going to get set up with CMS. But in this video, I kind of want to talk about what are my favorite care models to start looking at when thinking about providing these services, right? So first and foremost is going to be DD group homes, this is actually kind of undershooting the model. And we're going to get into the numbers really quickly, right? But 24/7 licensed care facility, full staff support, complete care services, sometimes behavioral support as you're getting up there, supported living services. So this is like you're a home care agency, right? For the developmentally disabled population. You're supporting individuals in their own home. Very low overhead, very quick to scale. One of my favorite models to serve, right? So I actually run, two of these businesses, supported living and DD group homes out here in California. But who knows, right? As we're growing, maybe we'll get into Maryland because you're going to see that these rates are incredible. Next, community-based day programs, day habilitation based in the facility, right? So weekday center, we're in the community for life skills, social connection, job preparation, skill building activities, and community outings. Okay. Now, there's different waivers that each individual falls under that you're going to serve depending on the services that you provide. So things like day programs are going to be different, right? Oftentimes in the community supports waiver, serving folks who are a bit younger, they're going to be associated with the family supports waiver. And then when you're getting into supported living and group homes, you're going to be using the community pathways waiver. Okay. So let's talk about the rates, okay? Let's talk about the daily rates, okay? So coming over here, right? Let's talk about community-based day programs, for example. CDP, community-based, CBPD day program. I got it wrong. Okay, anyways, so in a group setting, right? So this is, you're picking individuals up from their home, okay, taking them out and about in the community, socializing them, making them, integrate in the community, things like, malls, museums, parks, Starbucks, whatever it may be, right? You're getting paid to play. And you're making $13.17 in a group setting every 15 minutes. So you're being able to get economies of scale with one staff across multiple residents, right? Between 2 to 4, but let's be in the middle and say 1 to 3. So $13 every 15 minutes, okay? So if we come over here and we multiply that by 4, our hourly rate is going to be $52 an hour, okay? So $52 an hour, and what is going to be our monthly rate? Well, 23 billable days, right? It's Monday through Friday times the number of residents that we were serving times how many hours a day, right? Which is going to be 6 hours a day. So for example, right, a couple months in, we scale to, 6 individuals in a, in a large vehicle, right? An 8-seater vehicle, right? 2 staff, 3 residents each. Maybe you scale up to another vehicle. Maybe you have 2 staff driving their own cars, right? That's $43,000 a month in revenue with very, very little overhead, right? And so when I do this, right? So the staffing ratio is going to be 1 staff per every 3 individuals. Let's say that the going direct care service rate in Maryland is $20 an hour. It's actually less, but I like to buff up these numbers because our caretakers deserve to be making a livable wage, right? And so they work 6 hours a day, Monday through Friday, okay? 5 days a week. All right, so your payroll is going to be $5,520. You can start out not having any payroll. It can be simply you driving the vehicle, taking these folks out and about into the community, okay? So let's talk the numbers, okay? 6 individuals, $43,000 a month in revenue. That's over $500,000 a year, okay? Boom, we double this, okay? That's a 7-figure business, right? Like, so it's not really hard to get to these numbers when you figure it out and you know what you're doing, and you got the right systems so that you can scale. Okay. In terms of expenses, things like your bookkeeper, auto expense, your tech stack, so things like your electronic health record system where you're taking the shift notes, QuickBooks, so on and so forth. Auto insurance, general and professional liability insurance, additional vehicle expenses, right? I'm pretty much padding these numbers, right, very conservatively. Your monthly payroll, your payroll taxes and expenses, you're renewing your permits annually, your CPA costs $2,000 in April, repairs, maintenance and materials, workers' comp insurance. Guys, these margins are insane. You're not going to find margins like this in any other business model, even in group homes. Okay, community-based day programs have some of the most epic profit margins I have ever seen in any business model ever. Okay, absolutely epic. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, boom, we get up to 12 individuals. Golly, guys, what are you doing? Why are you waiting? Why have you not clicked the link to speak with my team so that we can get you licensed? Maybe it's because you want to open up a group home, right? So let's get into those numbers, okay? So coming over here, in the state of Maryland, group homes are called, community living group home. And I'm taking rates, for example, 24/7 with overnight supervision, somewhere kind of, let's meet in the middle, right? So $544 a day. So let's come over here to the group homes, okay? So coming over here to the group homes, so we got the numbers in here. So the daily rate, right? What did I have it? Gosh, never mind. How do I go back? There we go. Okay, 548, right? That's how much money that we're making a day. Okay, and so depending on how many individuals that we have, that's going to dictate our monthly rate. So if we're only serving 3 folks, we're going to be making, about $50,000 a month in revenue. Okay, serving 4 individuals, that is $66,000 a month in revenue, guys. Maryland, oh my. Maryland, oh my. I'm over here in California, like, I start helping you guys in different states, and I'm like, oh my, I'm gonna have to move to the East Coast. Is the West Coast not the best coast? Getting into it, sorry. So let's just do this, okay? Let's do equals the monthly rate. We already did the calculations over there. Okay, and then we'll drag this along. Okay, so guys, that's a lot of money in monthly, recurring revenue, absolutely, all day. Okay, and then, let's basically how I have the staffing ratios built out is as you increase in the acuity level, as you in the individuals that you're serving, as you increase in the number of residents in the home, it dynamically increases the weekly staffing hours, right? Which is policy, right? Like, as you serve individuals who have a higher acuity level of self-help skills and behaviors, and with the more residents you have, you should be putting more staff in there. And so we account for this in this model, right? And in this model, we are also accounting for the fact that you are hiring an administrator. Let's say starting them out at $75,000, which is a great salary for somebody who only has to be there per se 20 hours a week. Guys, I'm just telling you, there's enough meat on the bone to take care of everybody. Your direct care workers, the individuals obviously that you're serving, your administrator, and yourself and your family, okay? So getting into the profit and loss over here, in terms of payroll, so how my formula works is going to be weekly staffing hours divided by 7 times 30, okay? Times 14, which is their hourly rate, plus your administrator's salary advertised, okay? Got it. Guys, that's pretty chill. That's a pretty chill payroll, if you ask me. Okay. If you ask me, that's a pretty chill payroll. Okay, in a group home setting where you're bringing in, like, month after month, $34,000 a month, over here. Sometimes some months payroll strikes twice, so your margins are going to be a little bit less. But I mean, guys, this is another model where you can get to, well over $500,000 a year, leveraging real estate, for you real estate investors out there. Okay. Next, let's get into supported living. I think it's another great, very highly scalable model. So coming over here, supported living, coming to the rates. So this is where, you're kind of, think of yourself, this is such a lame way to put it, as a staffing agency, right? But these folks, you're training them, they're on your payroll, you're helping them renew their certs, and you're staffing them into these individuals' homes, right? So you're like a home care service. And so the supported living rates are right here. Again, somewhere kind of in between. Let's just say, again, 548, right? So we put that over here, 548 a day, right? This is assuming that you're serving them 24 hours. Some folks may have different, individual support plans where they only need 8 hours a day of care, 18 hours a day of care, 16 hours a day of care, okay? Nonetheless, it just depends whether or not they need overnight, staffing or not, right? So you see without overnight supervision, with overnight supervision, okay? So with that said, you come over here, you plug in the numbers. Guys, you just slowly start to build your business, right? You get your first resident and you're making $16,000 a month. You get, 3 residents. Guys, it is just insane. It's an insane business model. I can't believe the rates in Maryland. I can't believe it. It trips me out. Okay. Nonetheless, so let's get to 10 folks, right? You've got companies like Easter Seals who do $450 million a year with this model. Okay. Serve individuals nationwide. All you need is 10. And you are killing it. When we talk about the payroll, so it's not going to be kind of like 1-to-3 staffing ratio. It's going to be a 1-to-1 staffing ratio, okay? And so I multiply however many individuals we're serving times the DSP hourly rate times, the number of days in the month, so on and so forth, right? And so, we're making $167,000 a month revenue. Our payroll is going to be about $118,000 as well. So there's a lot of money coming in and coming out of the business. Similar sort of expenses as a community-based day program, right? Because the real estate's not associated. Guys, with this model, we're taking home over $34,000 a month. That is $400,000 a year in profit. It's insane, guys. So now you guys have a understanding for the numbers. Let's talk about the timeline to launch. Okay, I'm a project manager at heart. Everybody that works with me, they get about a 300-piece timeline in order to start getting this going. But in terms of the timeline to start, we're going to start with getting the business entity stood up. We're going to develop our policies and plans. The DDA application, then we're going to launch, right? So the whole process is going to take between 3 to 4 months. Now, when talking about the launch checklist, things that we need is our, SDAT registration, EIN, NPI, liability insurance. Got to make sure our staff has all of their certifications. We got to, create our policies and procedures, create an emergency disaster plan, go through the provider application, start connecting with the CCS agencies, which are going to be the, privately networked placement agencies and case management agencies who are going to start referring folks into our business. So let's kind of talk about that. Let's scratch at that a little bit more. Okay. So in terms of the provider application, my team's going to be able to walk you through this A to Z. This is, I don't know, however many page document, 20-page document. Guys, we're going to help you. We're pretty much going to do this for you when you work with us. In addition, here's kind of the provider checklist that we go through. We make sure that you have. And then when it comes to writing, policies and procedures, guys, this is about a 150 to 200 page document that is going to be the Bible of your business that our team at Assisted Living Facility Launch is going to write and deliver to you so that you don't have to worry about any of it. Okay. In addition, there's some eligibility requirements. I recommend just going to their website. All this information is available. I know it's a bit confusing to navigate. To work with somebody like me, obviously I can help you with that. And so that kind of goes, that's kind of the licensing process. Guys, let me get clients and referrals. That's the easy part. Okay. And we can talk about that when the time comes. So guys, this is the business of both purpose and profit. At Assisted Living Facility Launch, we've helped everyday people like yourself become 6, multiple 6, and 7-figure care entrepreneurs Maryland's DDA system is open for new providers. And right now, today is the best time to get started, right? Looking at these numbers, for every day that you wait, that you procrastinate, that you have self-doubt, you are missing out on multiple thousands of dollars of profit. Think about what that money would do for you and your family. Guys, book a call with my team, okay? Link in the description, link in the bio. Book a call with my team so that we can get you started on the path. We can get you ramped up. We can get your licensing application submitted within the next month. What are you waiting for, guys? Now is the time to get started in care, group homes, day programs, home care agencies, supported living, rehabilitation agencies, supported employment agencies, assistive technology agencies, transportation agencies. Guys, we do it all. Whatever you want to do, we'll help you do it, okay? Book a call with our team, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.